to WRPB and WRPB Studios. You can see the tag in the center is different. This is probably be one of the last times you're going to see me on the air on SLC Scanner. But Dan's taking over. But today was kind of special. We did a Halloween piece, and now we're blessed to have Michael Colton. And Mike is with DDS4Vets,
Right.
as am I. And we have an amazing weekend coming up.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So tell me about
Full
it.
packed weekend. It begins tomorrow morning. We're going to take some of our veteran guests, some of our VIP guests, to the Navy SEAL Museum up on North Hutchinson Island. It's kind of a unique thing and a unique part of our history here that a lot of people aren't even fully aware of. So we're going to bring them up there, let them tour the facility, and then we hope to stop off at the Little Gym Bait and Tackle, which has some history also with the base up there, and kind of show them that, maybe get one of their good smash burgers. And so that's tomorrow. Then tomorrow evening there's a VIP event it's like a cocktail hour, a meet and greet at the Hutchinson Shores Resort where we're based. The total event is based out of. Then Saturday morning we roll out of bed and onto the beach in the surf and work out with Navy SEALs.
Okay, so I want to volunteer you to work out with them.
Absolutely. You can do it.
Okay.
You can do it.
Oh man, that's a different type of fitness there.
It is a different.
You ain't
Yeah.
kidding. Okay, the
No.
story I hear, it's a tough workout.
It is a tough workout, but they're not
And
going to
that's-
do anything that's
and
going
that's
to
why I
put you in harm's way.
That's why I
They watch
volunteered
out
you.
for you, but it's more of a challenge for yourself just to see, and then you get to say at the end that you did it. You completed it. My wife did it last year,
Really?
and yeah, she sure
Oh,
did.
see?
And we've
Spike
had
did
some
it.
other
Amazing.
folks do it. So, and I'm planning on doing it this year. We'll see how
Good
it
deal,
goes.
man.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, and I don't know if that's the event where the Navy, the Marines are all participating, and there's this like kind of competition.
Oh, I guarantee it'll get a little competitive. Yes, there's no way these guys and girls all take tremendous pride in their fitness and in their respective disciplines and their whether it's the Marine Corps or the United States Navy or whatever, they're very prideful. So I can imagine there might be a little competitiveness. Plus, there's
They'll
going to
know.
be
That's amazing.
it's going to
That's
be good.
amazing.
It's
That's
going to be
cool.
real good. And then, of course, we get a little break to go lick our wounds and then head up to the actual formal gala, which is our flagship event for the weekend. It's a fundraising event. It's a black tie affair, so really nice. Everybody gets to wear their best tux and beautiful gowns. You'll hear some stories. Have a box of Kleenex close by because some of them are very gripping and emotional. And it's all really structured and geared towards raising awareness and understanding of our veteran community and our first responder community, what they go through, and what we as a community can do to help them. And then
Okay, there's not going to be a dry eye in the house. There
No,
wasn't
there-
last year.
there are
And-
some moments that
and
I
Deb-
have to count ceiling tiles.
Deb said that this year she made sure there's a box of tissues on every table.
Yes,
That's how emotional it gets.
yes. Yes.
What's interesting to me is all these guys were all in the service in some fashion, except me. So there I am listening to the stories and not having my own story.
Yeah.
But for me, it's about helping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I was blessed to be on the board of Horses and Heroes. I'm blessed to be on the board of DDS4Vets. Dan was the last minute coming to the gala, right?
Yeah.
You weren't sure. And he's at Rick's table?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So he's at
Yeah.
Rick's table, so he'll get to now. You weren't there last year, right?
I was not. This is my first time attending.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah.
It's an
Thank you.
experience
It's
and a
an
half.
experience. Yes, it is.
And the sad part is, we couldn't fit another person, even if they were only 6 pounds. We couldn't fit them in that room,
Right.
right?
Yeah, we're packed.
We are
Which is a good thing.
Right.
It's a good thing. But
So-
yeah, we are packed.
just so people know. You train the dogs.
That's right.
You pick the dogs too.
Yep, we sure do. We try to base that on both the physical needs of the individual, the recipient of the dog, but also their their personality, their lifestyle. A lot of these folks, what we're finding out is they want active dogs because they want to remain active, and it actually becomes part of their therapy is to get up and go do things with a dog that's not going to let them just sit on the couch and sometimes get lost in their own thoughts. So there's it's a little bit different approach. They really, really like what we call the sharp-eared dogs, which are like the German Shepherds, the Malinois, are more the working breeds that kind of mimic our military work dogs and our police service dogs that we see routinely out there. We've also placed a beautiful lab mix that has been a remarkable dog as well. But they like the activity level. They like the appearance. It all is just part of the total package. And it's kind of a way for them to experience, instead of post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic stress disorder, we like to phrase it as post-traumatic growth. So it's PTG, it's a way up and a way out and a way to move forward with your lives. And we have a classic example of that of one of our first recipients who actually went from being just a shell of a young man at 21 years old. He was involved with the bombing at the Abbey Gate. He was there, lost friends to the front and center and even behind him, was significantly wounded. Now that young man has battled back, and I'd like to think in large part to the dog that he received from us and being around us and the community support. And he has gone on to not only provide services to his community as a dog trainer and help with other people with service dogs back home where he lives, but he also put himself through the police academy and is now experiencing his dream, his lifelong dream of being an active duty law enforcement officer. So complete 180. The young man is just moving on, moving up. And he'll be here this weekend too.
Amazing. God bless him.
Yeah.
So-
It's amazing.
I want to thank Dan for letting us steal your time with SLC Scanner. And I thought it was important because you're out there
Yeah.
to know, because you care about this community and you care about everything, to bring you in the fold of what's going on and what's happening. Mike, real quick. So we've flown in people from all over.
All over. We've got one Marine coming in from Arizona, one coming from Wisconsin. We've got people coming in from coast to coast pretty much.
Fantastic.
And they were all supposed to fly into PBIA.
They're supposed to fly to PBIA. Of course, what can go wrong, right? So we did see that PBIA has had an issue with their airport, with a runway, an active runway with a sinkhole. So they had to divert some flights to Orlando. But that's just, it's a speed bump. We'll get through it. These men and women are used to finding a way around or through or over an obstacle, and it's just a speed bump. They'll be here in plenty of time, and
Excellent.
we should be fine.
What does it take to train a dog?
Good question. A lot of it depends on the task that the dog actually has to perform. Depends on the aptitude of the dog. It's usually, on average, it's about a year-long process. And we identify the dog and the recipient about a year out. And the standard answer would be 120 hours plus 30 hours of public service access training. But we do a lot more than that. And we usually try to implement more than less so that if needs arise later on down the line, the recipient knows that that dog can do more than what's needed in that moment. And then the other part of it is they come and stay with us for about a month and a half. And they train together from the foundation on up with the dog. So they can go back and problem solve. If they run into an issue somewhere down the line or want to add a task, they know exactly how to do it, how to take that knowledge and experience that they have with us here and run with it. So
This year's dog is Hope. I think.
Hope. Yep.
Okay, and is she a, I'm going to say a pure Malinois?
She's not. It looks, we honestly don't know her background because that's another thing that we try to do is utilize rescue dogs, right? So there's nothing wrong with, there are big programs out there that have their own breeding program. They can do that, and they kind of get a head start on training because they know their dogs as they're growing up. And so we take a little bit more challenging approach to that, but with a purpose, and that is to rescue these animals that fit the bill, that meet the needs, that have the abilities that we're looking for and the aptitude that we're looking for, gives them the partner that they're looking for, both in the look and the character. And so what we wind up doing is pairing kind of two lost souls that need each other as
Yeah.
battle buddies. So we kind of like to say the rescuers become the rescued.
Wow. I like how you keep things congruent like that. And you're making it to where it's mutually beneficial. I work with the Humane Society on the
Yes.
board, and we say that a lot too. That you kind of find each other throughout that process, and this is no different, except the experience is a lot different.
Right.
The process looks similar, but the experience is a lot different, which is
And you mentioned Humane Society. Our flagship dog actually came from that Humane Society here
Oh,
in
it's
St. Lucie
amazing.
County. Yep,
That's
Shiloh
amazing.
was one of our first dogs, the one that went to the young man who has turned his life around and is now a sheriff's deputy up in Wisconsin. And that little dog came from our Humane Society.
you have to do a story on that. I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yep.
That was before my time there,
Yep.
so that's
Yep.
that's incredible.
Well, I only got on the board this year, and I got mid-year when I got on the board of DDS4Vets. And again, I have the ability at my age to have some time, and I can't think of a better place to put it, in my opinion. And now you went to the K9 facility that just started?
I did.
Okay.
Really nice.
And you did Facebook Live?
I did. Yeah,
Okay.
that's something we like to do. We like to go on scene. We do lives because it shows people in real time how the experience is, and you can see with a lot of the deputies that were there and a lot of the trainers that were there how much pride they took in the facility, and as well as the gentleman, his wife who passed away sadly. They were part of the vision that was cast for this entire facility. Everything from the flooring, everything from the walls and the AC units, everything was strategically purposed to really care for the animal.
Right.
And to make sure that they're trained properly. And to see how much work went into that, for me, very eye-opening. I don't know how much planning beforehand went into something like that, which is pretty neat.
Quite a bit.
I think
I'm sure.
that one of the things that I wanted to make sure I mentioned was that DDS4Vets, we have our gala, but we're already planning the next year already.
Right.
We're already out, and without sounding like I'm begging, you guys really, we can always use help.
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. The need is unbelievable and undeniable. A lot of folks might think, well, combat operations are over, and if we've withdrawn. I can tell you, we still have thousands of men and women in harm's way. We lost 3 service members just this year in an attack in a base in the Middle East. I believe it was in Jordan. We're sending more as we speak, just putting them in peripheral positions, but they're still in harm's way. And we had over 2 million service members impacted over those 20 years. So in order for us to be able to provide, we can't sit back and wait for the VA is trying. They're overloaded. The government is overloaded. And honestly, a certain amount of that should fall back on us, the community. Less than 10% goes in there, raises their right hand, and signs a blank check and goes to serve, right, of our community. So that leaves 90-something%. Doesn't matter if you served or not. We're in that 90% category
Right.
that can provide some help and some
And
service for those young men and
It
women.
is the reason I decided to jump on board
Yep.
and help, even though I felt bad because they have all these great stories, and
Yeah.
here I am with no story.
Yeah,
But
same here.
since I'm on the board, I have my stories from these guys,
Yeah.
and my participation as best it could be. Before I let you go, there's a number that I don't think people understand. It's a statistic of vets. What is that statistic? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do, unfortunately. The number does fluctuate from time to time. In this type of year, it definitely spikes because we're just on the heels of the anniversary of the withdrawal of Afghanistan, which was a difficult event for us. But we're looking at, on average, 22 veterans a day that unfortunately take their lives.
It's almost unthinkable.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to think of that number. But we're getting to the top of our time. We want to mention SLC Scanner.
Yeah, absolutely. For everything that Wayne and Mike were talking about today, and for other really important events in our city and our community, we summarize this weekly for y'all so that not only on the Facebook page, but you can get it delivered weekly to your email. We're going to have a lot of pictures, hopefully, God willing, from the DDS4Vets Gala. We're going to have a lot of content from there this week, so you don't want to miss this week's newsletter. The way you get that is a simple link. We'll actually provide that below, so when you're looking at this on YouTube, you can scroll down and subscribe right through your link. I always tell y'all, because you have a lot of people who are really private on here, you don't even have to use your real name. You could just use your real email, so you get it delivered weekly to you. So look forward to that, and then look forward to those pictures from the gala. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a heartfelt time.
Yes, it is.
But it's going to be a productive time. And for people like Wayne and I who, we didn't serve, it's going to be a chance for us to give back and show off these amazing men and women who've done a lot for us.
Mike,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Dan, thanks for coming in and
Absolutely,
having a
man.
good time with me here.
Always.
Everybody have a great day. We'll be right back.